Hello and welcome to Footy Judge Mo, people. Welcome to Counterview. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. If you're here, you're in for a fantastic show. Welcome back to Joe from Just a Joe Football Show. I'm just glad to see him back on my channel. Absolute legend, Joe, for being here. Thank you so much for joining. We have Rory, of course, from Rory Talks Football, and Jerry James, buzzing, happy. Winners. At the moment, they're the only people that can say we won a trophy this year. Absolutely buzzing. Liverpool fans, of course. But we're here not only to talk about the Carabao Cup. I don't think we'll talk about him. I don't think we'll talk about the Carabao Cup. But we'll talk about Rio Ferdinand saying that Arteta would leave Arsenal for Man United. And big up like Saeed yesterday. Saeed tweeted that which manager should Ineos pick? And I got triggered and I said, why do people think that Man United will just point and the manager will run towards them? Like, is it 2008? That's what people are asking. But we'll also talk about Virgil van Dijk, who I believe is the best defender to ever play in the Premier League. And he is just the best player in the Premier League, period, now, at the current moment. And he can win Liverpool the league. And we'll talk about Arteta, of course. You know the drill. We'll all have to trigger Arsenal fans, of course. It's just the drill here on this channel. But we're here. We're going to enjoy the show. How's everybody doing? And I hope you guys are happy. Viewers, like the video before you walk in. If you're watching this on replay, hit that like button. It's 120 people right off the bat. So I'm happy about this. Hit that like button. Get us to 100 likes. How's everybody doing this afternoon for you? You're all in the UK. Absolutely fantastic.
Good, man. Good. Listen, thanks for having me on as well, Mo. I know it's been a while. You know, I've had some stuff going on behind and all that sort of stuff. So you've been patient, but I've been waiting to get back into and jumping on the channel because I miss it myself. You know, I watch all the content as well. So big up to everyone. I've seen these lads on before as well, and nice to see Football Corner Sad in the chat as well, wanting to talk about Havertz. We will be there, mate. We will discuss this. Don't worry. I was just winding up my tea, saying, how will it feel when Arsenal win the Premier League and Chelsea have got nothing, and Havertz is there with the Premier League trophy in the air? So there you go.
Wow.
But I'll stop talking now.
Lovely. How are you, Rory?
Yeah, good. You know, 2024's started pretty well for Arsenal, so I can't complain.
Yeah, 100%. Jerry buzzing, of course, for the...
They thought we were finished. Echoing the words of Van Dijk. Yeah, man. Winners. Only team right now to conclusively say we've won a trophy. So, yeah, 1 down, 3 to go.
That's 100%. Listen, people, I think there's only one place to start. Rio Ferdinand. Seriously. It's actually, and he looked damn serious when he's saying, and if people in the chat, if you don't know, just go watch the clip. The guy's saying, if Man United come calling for Mikel Arteta will tell them, salute, bye-bye. See you later. I'm joining Manchester United.
Yeah. You know, I don't even think...
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Anybody. Go
ahead.
I
was going to say, I don't even think... Like, some people are, he's just joking. He knows what he's doing. He's baiting people. I don't rate him as being smart enough to actually do that with a straight face. Like, the way he said it doesn't come across as someone that was baiting. I think he genuinely is stuck in... He's stuck in the pre-2010, in the days where that might actually be a thing, that United might have that pull. But I mean, right now, there's not a single legitimate reason that you could give. I don't think.
No, listen, I disagree massively with what Rio said.
Are you going to justify it? I know it's
no, but what I am going to say...
I see the button. He's like, did you see that? How we started that?
No. I'm going to say something just for context.
He's just going to justify it.
No, I'm not. But I'm trying to give, you know, an alternative view. And the reason... Listen, I can't stand Man United. I don't mind Arsenal. People know this. Because they challenge.
You love Arsenal, you dick.
Yeah, I love Arsenal because they were the team that they were the team that challenged Man United back in that day when I couldn't stand. Well, I still can't stand Man United, but Wenger, Henry, all these. But yeah, I like Arsenal. It is what it is. But I'm surprised, and I wonder what you folks think. I was surprised that Dan Ashworth was ready to jump ship as quick as he was from Newcastle. to Manchester United. Now, I know these clubs are similar to Newcastle, Arsenal. It's different levels. But the fact that he was ready to jump ship as quick as he was, and he's still on gardening leave, I believe. So maybe that's where Rio stuck. I don't think Arteta would make that move, but that did surprise me when Ashworth said, "Yeah, listen, I'm out. I'm going Man United. It is what it is." So
I think the difference. I think the difference with Newcastle in that situation is the fact that they're in a predicament where they need to try and sell players to go and bring more players in, and currently they can't do anything else. They can't do anything else. Whereas United, the amount of money and the amount of revenue they bring in as a club means that he can exercise a bit more of what he potentially thought he would have at Newcastle, which is we've got an unlimited checkbook, quote unquote. We can just spend much more than he's been able to at Newcastle, because he's actually signed a lot of players at Newcastle. Isak, Tonali, big, obviously big price tags. Gordon, big price tags for players. But in terms of selling players, he's been shocking, and that's what they've needed to do. Hence why I think Newcastle have even entertained the idea of, you know what, you're good at the purchasing side of things potentially. The selling bit of it, we haven't actually seen as of yet. I look at Rio, and if I'm being honest, I think he's just like a fan. I think he just got lost in the sauce.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Ineos has joined United, and he's just, everything's going to be great again. The Glazers aren't here anymore. Of course they're going to come to United. United is there. And you hear some United fans talking about it. There'll be some in the chat. They're going to be like, look, United are back. We're here. Do you know what I mean? We were back on track. Give us next season, and we're going to be, do you know what I mean? We'll buy better players. We're going to restructure the whole club. And there's that whole narrative surrounding United. I think that's where it's coming from. I think he's just got caught up in it. I don't for one second believe he wholeheartedly thinks that Arteta, after building what he has at Arsenal, will sacrifice that to build something new at United that has the potential to go tits up.
So I'm going to tell you like a story, right? I actually said on the Football Terrace on Straight Facts last Wednesday when I asked about Ineos and why some fans, I said Man United fans are entitled. Some of them, not all of them. Some of them are entitled. And I think some of them are delusional. So I was playing football in the league here last Sunday. And after the game, the manager
MLS,
of the other team, of course MLS. What do you think? Who do you think? What do they think I play? So the manager of the other team used to play in, I think, a second division in England or something. Big up, Matt, if I don't know if you're watching. Matt is a Man United fan, right? And he literally said that Ineos will take Man United back to the top. We will be the best team in the league. So I told him, why do you say that? He said, like, we're the biggest club in the world. We're the news. No one is bigger than us. We are the news. He said, you open any newspaper, Man United are top of the news. Anything that happens, we are what makes the news. Man United, some of the Man United fans still think that they are the news when they lose, when something happens. And I don't believe this. Why? I live in America. So I wake up every day in the morning. Before I do my streams, I check the news. Sometimes it's Man United. But I can imagine if Arsenal lose, if Man City lose, for example, or exit the Champions League tomorrow, if Liverpool lose, like Jurgen Klopp leaving broke the internet, literally broke YouTube and the internet. If Arsenal lose tomorrow and get out of the title race, I believe it will break the internet. If Arsenal win the Premier League or the Champions League, it will break the internet, right? I believe that. Man United losing a game is just the norm. It's just like, it's all right. It's not news anymore. Then Ashford guy, Omar Barada, yes, it is news. People like to talk about it. Man United probably have the biggest fan base around the world, but I don't think what happens at Man United is the main headlines anymore. They aren't in the title race. Like, nobody cares anymore about if you lose a game, who cares? You're sixth, you became seventh. Okay, what happens? It's not a big deal.
Can I ask though, right? Because as a Man United hater, maybe is a strong word, but as someone who dislikes Man United, are the rest of you folks not worried? Because I know I am, that they could be on the cusp of returning because of Ineos and what they're doing behind the scenes and the people that they're employing. I do look at it and think, oh, okay, they might start to return now. Do you folks think that, Jesse, Jerry, and
Rory?
I don't know. I look at it and it's, look, if they return, great for the league. Are they going to be as far along in their development as City, as Liverpool, as what Arsenal are going to have to do. There's still going to be a lot of growing pains. There's still going to be a lot of, I think, look, that time's going to come. I think to envisage that United are never going to return to the pinnacle of football would be silly because they are that big. So it's just a matter of time. They are that kind of sleeping giant. You saw it with Liverpool as well. Didn't win the league for 30 odd years. I mean, it took us 30 years, but we got there in the end. So they'll be back. I just think there's going to be a lot of trials and tribulations for them to get there, to get the right manager, to get the right players. And unless everything goes smoothly in terms of they sign the best in class in manager, the best in class in players, I think they're still a long way away because the actual culture and the structure of the club is all over the place.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of hype, understandably, around Ineos and bringing in Dan Ashworth and Omar Barra and all of that stuff. But that's just a bigger version of when you hype up a new manager, right? The same way that they were with Erik ten Hag, and you believe that they're going to have this impact, and they might well do it. But I do think that the current, like the new sort of stronger FFP profit and sustainability rules are going to be a big problem for them because no matter what they might want to do, the fact is they've still got the highest wage bill in the Premier League, which they're struggling to manage. They've got a lot of players that are relatively recent signings on big wages. They've got to get them off the book. So I do think the turnaround isn't going to be as quick as it might be because they can't just, they can't just sell and cut their losses on a bunch of those big players like Antony and then go out and spend that money. Like if they cut those losses, they're going to have to spend really intelligently. And I think compared to like if Dan Ashworth was doing it at Brighton or Newcastle, I think it's going to be a different job doing it at Man United, where every club around the world is going to go, well, no, you're Man United. You can pay 50% extra for this player because you're Man United. So I will turn around. Don't get me wrong. I do think, they're not, the next decade for them won't be as bad as the last decade. But yeah, I think we've got some time before we see anything significant.
100%. Listen, people, 350 people here. Let's get the likes up. We aren't even on 100 likes, you guys. Wallahi. You're embarrassing me. In Joe's return, nobody wants to like the video. It's Joe's fault. It's definitely Joe's fault.
We should pause the stream until everyone gets to 300 likes.
Come on, guys. Get us to 100 likes. Listen, I actually think Manchester United will be all right. They will go back. But they won't dominate as before. I haven't seen a team dominate and then they come back and dominate like before. They might win a title, they might win 2, they might win 3 within a span of 10 years or something, but it won't be a Sir Alex Ferguson again, unless everyone else falls apart. And I don't think they will fall apart. That's the thing. Like, I don't think Liverpool will fall apart. I don't think Man City will fall apart. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to happen. And this is what Man United fans think that. What is happening now with Manchester City is because of Pep Guardiola and because everyone else is shit. This is it. It's like Arsenal was shit. Like Liverpool were in the dumps before Jurgen Klopp. Jurgen Klopp came back, and I think the problem is he's just unlucky sometimes. He was just unlucky. To be honest, because of the titles that he lost with 1 point. Like if he won one of these 2 titles, we would have been sitting here and saying something else about Pep. It would have been 4-2 or something like this. And if Jurgen Klopp wins it this year, it would be 4-3. You know what I mean? With a Champions League. But it's just because it was Pep Guardiola. I don't think we're gonna have another Pep Guardiola soon. But okay, enough of Man United. I'm tired of them. They're 6th in the league. Seriously. Let's talk about Arsenal a little bit. Newcastle, I've seen some of the videos about new tactics and the defense and all the stuff and Mikel Arteta and Kai Havertz, and he's using this. And I know your opinion about Kai Havertz. And I want to ask Rory a straight question. Is Arsenal the best team in the league round?
Yeah. Right now, I think we have to be, right? If you're talking... the last 2 months since the turn of the year, I mean, in pretty much every metric that matters, we're scoring the most, we're conceding the least, we're conceding the fewest chances by a long way. We've conceded 1.9 XG in the whole of 2024 in the Premier League. Like it's insane. And they're numbers, by the way, that we can't keep up. There is no way that we can sustain that level of defense and that level of attack. But for this period, 100%, I think we are the best team in the league at the moment. It's just about whether we can continue that and sustain it.
Two goals conceded is a joke. Right, and I know this number off the top of my head because the only other team in English football to do that is Leeds United currently. So I know this statistic. But no, two goals conceded is a joke. I was talking to... Who was I talking to? Dan Potts about this yesterday. Like, it almost feels like this season has been a bit of a slow burn for Arsenal. Obviously, they start the season and everyone's like, why aren't we playing the way we were last season? What's going on? Everything's wrong. Why has he changed everything? And now we're seeing the fruits of the labour towards the back end of the season when it matters. You know, Arsenal are turning it on when it matters. I don't think City are as good as, you know, we expected them to be. And Liverpool are doing bits, though, let's be honest. But their injuries could catch up. I'm not too sure what the length of is in terms of returnees and stuff, because we've seen at the Carabao Cup final how many bodies were out. But yeah, I think I have to agree with Rory. I think Arsenal are doing bits, and it's great to see, because I think they've been getting battered. You know, even when last season, Arteta's this, or this is a pull by this player, that player, and every critic's been answered, and the only one left to do now is to go win the Premier League, and they may do it, and I hope they do. Like, I can't lie. I want something different. You know what I mean? Liverpool, I don't mind Liverpool either,
Joe,
by the way.
When you put it this way, you put the last thing left is for him to win the Premier League. So the question comes after this for you then, what if he doesn't win the Premier League?
It's still okay. Like, listen, I'm not... well, you can't sack him. What are you going to do? Like, it's like, sometimes... Someone on my show yesterday said it perfectly, because at the top four... I'm sorry to make the Championship reference, but it's where I'm at. The top four in the Championship are amazing this season, right? We could all end up with 90 plus points.
Fine.
90 plus points. And someone's put this great analogy. Sometimes a poker player can play the perfect hand, and still not win. And then sometimes you have to look at that and say, all right, okay, yeah. So Arteta's done this well in a time where everyone else has done well. Sometimes this happens. For me, if they finish second, you can't then go, right, he's done. Like, I think it's wild to say that. You know, Liverpool are going to be in a transitional period. They can everyone say, oh, it's going to fit like a hand in a glove. We've already seen with the impact at Man United after he went, the impact at Arsenal after Wenger went, all these things. And I know there will be a transitional period. For me, they may struggle next year to win major honours. So there's another opportunity if they weren't to win it this year. Let's say City pip them or whatever, or Liverpool pip them and Klopp says bye-bye. So there's still going to be time. And if you were to say, oh, we finished second and we only got to semi-final of the Champions League, let's sack him. You're just restarting that process again. And it's pointless for me. So, yeah, if they don't win it, it's not a failure, provided they don't drop out at the top four and just absolutely crumble. But I don't think they will.
If they're the best team in the league, Joe, like Jerry, you think they should be now favorites for the title, or we should put them as number one favorites for the title?
If that's the narrative we're giving, that they're the best in the league, right? Because of if
you're the best in the league and you're 2 points behind the league leaders, you should be the one who's...
But technically it doesn't make sense, because you can't be the best in the league if you're not top.
You can.
No, but you can't. You can't just. So what? If Luton go on a run of 5 games and win 5 games in a row, are they now the best team in the league because they're on a run of form? By the way, I'm not saying that Arsenal are a rubbish team by that. I'm not saying they shouldn't be favourites, but I'm saying to make the statement that they're the best team in the league based off a run of games, for me, is incorrect. You can say they're the team on form right now, which is fair, 100%. That 2 goals conceded, scoring the amount of goals they conceded is ridiculous. But there are also teams that are winning games, and Liverpool being one of them, that are winning games consistently, regardless of what obstacles are thrown in them. And that's whether we're playing, you know what I mean, the kids, whether we're going and playing Endo, who people didn't rate, whether it doesn't matter who's playing, we're still able to get results and score goals. If you look at our recent results, I think it's been 4-1s, 4-1s. I think we've had back-to-back 4-1s as well. So we are scoring goals, not to the level of Arsenal, but it's testament to the fact that we've got the injuries and we're still able to get goals without the likes of Salah. I mean, he's been out for a lengthy time now. Without Nunes, Szoboszlai as well, that's been out for a lengthy time, and obviously the others that have left as well. So, look, Arsenal are good, and if we're saying that they're favourites and they're the best team in the league, then of course they've got to be favourites to win the league. I think that's fair. But if I was an Arsenal fan, I wouldn't look at a run of form saying that it means we're the best team in the league. I think the best team in the league, you've got to be in that position.
The best team in the league now.
Yeah, but
2024
the question was best team right now, so I'm saying that is based on form, right? If you're talking about a team that was already in the title race and has been throughout, and you're talking about like right now who is the best, then it is kind of based on form as well. Unless you just say that the team that's top of the league is the best in the league throughout the whole season. But surely there are ebbs and flows within that, where the team that's was the best for the first 4 months, they can afford to have a bit of a dip in form and then still be top of the league. Like, you came to the Emirates and got dismantled in the league a few weeks ago.
No, 100%. But that's what I mean by a game. But I'm saying if the league was that, could you be? Let's say you just maintain this form, you're in fantastic form right up until the end of the league. Liverpool just still won their games, and you just ended up finishing second in the league in a hypothetical world. Are you still the best team in the league?
No, Liverpool are.
That's my point. So on form, 100%. I think we need to be quite specific when we're saying on form, because then you can include any team. It could be Luton, it could be United, it could be whoever that just goes on a mad run of form that's scoring a load of goals. That automatically doesn't make them the best team in the league. I think on form, 100%, bar none, you're the best team in the league. Saka's stepping up right now. You've got Havertz that's chipping in with goals. Do you know what I mean? Like, Odegaard's starting to really kick into gear. Like, your team's just clicking on every level. Set pieces, you're massive threat. You're a very, very good team. You're definitely in contention for the title. To say you're the best team outright when it's that close, not being top for me doesn't make any sense. For me, I just can't rationalize it in my head.
So are Liverpool a better team than Manchester City?
Right now, yes, of course. The league suggests it. The league suggests it.
So
cheeky. That's a very cheeky question, actually.
It is cheeky, isn't it, Mo? It is cheeky.
It is very cheeky.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm just saying, like, obviously, I feel like I shouldn't make these references, but I have to, right? Like, Leicester City are top of the Championship, right? They've got 6 points ahead of Leeds. They're not the best team in the league.
They definitely are. I watched their games against you, dude. Should have
just
been
bear with me one moment,
bro.
Wait, bear with me one moment. We've won 9 on the spin and beaten them home and away. That, for me, doesn't mean that they're the best team in the league. Leeds United are the best team in the league. Just so transpires that August, when we had players trying to leave, we were a month behind them. Had we have had that full month, we'd be top of the league. So I think context has to be applied as well. For me, Leeds United, who have done the double over Leicester and have won 9 on the spin, conceding 2 goals, shows me that they're the best team in the league. But they're not top of the league.
I know, but Joe, see, the context there you said that earlier on in the season, you said you had a lot of players that wanted to leave, and there was a better kind of, do you know what I mean, Leeds were just all over the place at the beginning of the season. Beginning of the season, Liverpool, do you know what I mean, no one was looking at Liverpool as title contenders. Arsenal were ahead of Liverpool at the time. So Liverpool throughout have been able to go and maintain, and technically I've only lost 2 games in the league.
Can I ask you the question in a different manner? Because I think the question, your answer was kind of like, yeah, we're top of the league, we're better than Arsenal. But when you see it, when you look at it, are Liverpool better than Man City even at the current moment? I think 90% of people would say Man City. Let me just, before I go on and ask you the question, I'm going to ask everybody in the chat, who do you guys think the best team in the league at the moment? We have 500 people here. Who do you guys think the best team in the league? I just want one name, no life stories, no buts and maybes, as Hussam says, one name in the chat. My point about it is if you're looking now and you're picking a team to win the league, who are you picking, Jerry?
I'm picking Liverpool.
So you really think that Liverpool are the best team in the league at the current moment?
Okay,
so are you playing the best football? Your stats are the best stats? You're winning games very convincingly?
I think games, if you're looking at scorelines, we're winning them very convincingly. I think just as Joe applied early on in the season, you apply context to the fact that we have got injuries and we're still able to go and get results. These players, like you said before last week, these players are going to come back. It will be completely different if I was looking at, Liverpool are ahead in the league, but we've dropped points in 2 games, lost 1 game, and we're looking rocky with all these injuries. Then I can look at it and be like, oh, you know what?
Can I ask you the question? Okay,
we're not. We're still.
Can I twist the question hypothetically for everyone?
Twist it again. Go on.
Twist it again. If Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City are on the same points now, who are the favorites?
It's hard, isn't it? That's a hard question.
Why
That's
everybody's
actually
silent?
hard.
You know.
Do
The
you know
way to
why I
look at
asked
it-
this question? Do you know why I asked this question? Because
Yeah,
the three teams play each other. So this is just something that can happen, actually. We can actually be within some weeks in this state, and it will now, it will change. The narrative will change. If that happens, the narrative will change. If Liverpool draw Man City, right, and Arsenal win their game, I think Arsenal, Liverpool will be on the same points, and Man City will be a point behind. At that time, it's a very plausible situation. We can actually see this happen very soon,
That's true.
right?
Yeah, 2 weeks' time, Arsenal could be top of the league because we beat Brentford and Sheffield United, and you drew to Man City.
That's
so
it.
does you drawing to Man City and us just winning 2 relatively easy games suddenly mean that then, like by
Does
your
that
own
mean
logic,
Arsenal are better at
Arsenal are
that
the best
point?
team in the league?
Exactly my point.
But you would have played a game more, wouldn't you?
No. If you
same
draw
game.
against Man City, because we're 2 points behind you, but better goal difference, we'd be ahead of you on goal difference and ahead of Man City by a point, having
Same
played the same
games.
amount of games.
Same game.
So by that point, does that mean Arsenal are the best team in
Does
the
that
league
mean
and Man
that
City
just
are the
2
third
weeks-
best team in the league?
Thank you, Rory. Thank you.
But for me,
Go.
on that point, I think in football, I think obviously there's nuance, isn't it? You can't go in at any given point and just say this team's the best. I think technically, yes, you would be the best team in the league because not only would your form suggest that, the fact that you were able to go and we've now dropped points means that in form and your position in the title suggests you're the best team in the league. 1,000,000%. The same way I'd flip it around. If Liverpool went and now dropped 2 points, but then won the rest of their games, like on form, we could those drop points in the next 2 games could mean that we lose the league, right? Or we don't win the league, or we can't challenge. But if we win every single game after that and beat every team 5-0 hypothetically, it doesn't make us the best team in the league because we've got to look at it over the season. That's why I'm saying on form. I have to look at it on form. And if you look across the course of the season, Liverpool have been the most consistent side and have only lost 2 games. One game, which for me,
I agree with this.
One game which for me shouldn't have been a loss. So that's my logic behind it.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Joe, you wanted to say something and we cut you off.
No, you never. No.
All right. Listen, I want to ask Rory, is Arteta implementing something new than the beginning of the season? This is what people are talking about now. New way, new tactics or whatever thing in the league. Is that something new?
There are little tweaks. I think people start trying to dig too deep into tactics. I think, we've seen Ben White start inverting, which normally would be Zinchenko. That slightly changes the way we play because Kivior's a much better defender. But overall, the majority of it is pretty much what we've been trying to do all season. We're just finding that players are adapting to it. Like Kai Havertz is undoubtedly getting far better at what he does. We've dropped Ødegaard a bit deeper, which was a change, but we made that change in around November time. Ødegaard started dropping deeper, playing more from there. Obviously, Jorginho comes in and out of the team for big games, which makes a difference. But overall, I think we're pretty much seeing what Arteta was trying to do from the start of the season. And defensively, all season we were very solid. It's just beginning to click offensively more now. And even part of that is really down to the set pieces, which we've changed and we've started scoring, a significant amount of goals from set pieces. So again, that's not hugely tactical either. But, I think Arteta realised we had to change the way we played from last season. He did that at the start of the season, and it took a bit of time to get that right, which is understandable.
Yeah, I actually think Arsenal are more direct. I think Arsenal are more straightforward. There is no playing around, reach the goal from the shortest distance, which is basically what Liverpool have been trying to do all season, and they're just doing it very well. Liverpool, if Arsenal do it well again, now you're winning games emphatically, which is what we're seeing. I like what I'm seeing, and I said in the beginning of the season, Arsenal were not entertaining. They were so boring to watch, like Manchester City. Liverpool were the entertaining team. Now Arsenal are becoming entertaining again. It's just very direct. You're watching the games, and everything is just forward. Let's go forward. There is no holding back. And I think you put yourself in a very good place, right? I still think you're third favorites to win the league. Just
really
because third. There's an explanation for it. It's just not because of the fixture list.
Okay.
It's just as simple as they have the hardest fixture list,
okay,
and they go to the Etihad. And I keep the same energy. They go to the Etihad, on paper, logically, they should lose. Like Man City go to Liverpool at Anfield. If some injuries are back, Man City should lose. But should and what's going to happen is different. I don't predict the future. I just look at the signs and say, yeah, Arsenal have the hardest fixtures. They go away to Brighton. They still play Manchester United away. They have the toughest fixtures. It's just
do you know what though? Like, I'm just looking now. Like, obviously City, yeah, they play Man United at home. I'm expecting them to dick Man United. Yes. I can't lie. But then they've got to go away to Liverpool, away to Brighton, Arsenal at home, and then Villa at home. Like, them next 5, hypothetically, are quite tough for City. So, and then obviously it's Crystal Palace, Luton, and stuff like that. But that next 5 are quite key for City. So the league could have a totally different feel after the next 5 games. I don't
Very
know
good segue to City then, because are they struggling for real, Joe?
I mean, I think we all expected De Bruyne, right, to hit. I don't know if it's a fitness issue. Like, I'm like, from a fantasy perspective as well, I'm like, right, they're back. The boys are back. Get them in. They're gonna cook, and they just haven't. I don't know. I think as soon as he came back and then he got the 2 assists off the bench or whatever it was, a goal and an assist, wasn't it? And we were all like, right, these are absolutely gonna go mental now. If we're being honest, Bournemouth on another day could have got a result against City. So I would argue struggling's maybe a strong word, but they're not at their potent usual self. See, the form that Arsenal's on, you would expect from City, for example, and they're not doing that. I know now that Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans are probably going into games going, you just never know. Whereas last season, you're like, yeah, nah, they're definitely winning this game. So there is a little bit of jeopardy there. And I think me as an outsider looking in, I'm thinking, yeah, we've got a proper title race. I did think when De Bruyne came off the bench, and I know it's only one player, but we know how pivotal he'll be, and he got that goal and assist. Yeah, it's game over now. Game over for everyone. De Bruyne's back. Now, whether it's a fitness issue, he's in and out, he's in and out. But, they're not at their potent best. I think we can all agree on that, right? I mean, you two lads will be able to tell me different. Are you going into games thinking, you know what, they could drop points? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I go into pretty much every game at the moment thinking, because they're not free-flowing going forwards, they're not scoring. It feels like a lot of teams do feel like, actually, we can sit deep here. We can actually prevent them from scoring. And we can go and score ourselves. So, I feel like they do keep baiting us in. And it gets to like, it's 0-0 at halftime, or, they might even concede first and you go, oh, here we go. And then they come back. But I feel like if Arsenal were doing, if City were doing what Arsenal are doing right now and had Arsenal season, where it was, a bit slow to start with, drop some points where they shouldn't have done. But now in the kind of final third of the season, they're putting up the numbers Arsenal are doing. I think everyone would just be like, well, City are just going to cruise the title. But name, obviously, and history and all the rest of it holds a lot of weight. And that's why I still think Man City are the favourites if I had a gun to my head. But there is, I look at it, I go, even United at home, I'm like, it could just be one of those results where they just, United under pressure, Ten Hag under pressure, they go and sit deep and they get a draw. So, yeah, look, I'm praying that any team can get a result against them. But again, it's in our hands, right? For Liverpool and for us, we both play them, so it's all well and good saying, I hope they drop points against this team and that team. If we beat them, we go ahead of them. So it's on us.
Yeah, I feel like with me, anytime I watch City, I feel like I'm just dealing with hope. I hope they lose.
Not this year. Not in the last month or so.
No. I know we're saying that, but they're still winning. And I know what you're saying, Mo. They're not as free flowing as they were last season. They're not. Haaland's not scoring every single chance that falls to him. He's missing a lot of chances in the last couple of games, but they still just win. They just win, and I think a team that doesn't have to play well and wins is always a scary prospect, because when they do click, and it may be for the last 5 games, it may be when they face Liverpool and they decide to click, then they become a problem. So City are the only team I look at that are just, they've got that sense of inevitability with them. I think although Liverpool are winning games and they're proving me wrong, in my mind, I still feel as though that we've got a soft underbelly somewhere, especially with the injuries. Arsenal, again, they're new to this. I mean, this is the second race they've been in. They haven't won the title yet. It's still going to be new to them. They're still going for the first time. I mean, consecutively, they've gone on obviously beaten Liverpool this season, beaten Man City this season already, and are looking to obviously do the double against City as well. So I'm looking at City, just that sense of inevitability. It just means that when I'm watching games, yeah, Tony might have a chance when they face Brentford, but they just Foden pops up with a goal, Kevin De Bruyne pops up with a goal, and they don't have to be at their best.
Or a defender slips.
Yeah, or a defender slips. Exactly. So for me, yeah, man, I'm. It's like I said, somehow, some way, they're still getting their points, and they're getting. And look, they've got the experience. I don't think they panic in those situations, and I think even this new Liverpool team, if we were to, 1-0 win, if we had to go and win a couple of games, 1-0, 2-1, I think we'd start to creak a bit.
Here is that what I disagree with you. They don't have the experience on the pitch. They just don't. Not this year. Some of the lineups that start with Julian Alvarez, Foden, Oscar Babur, Doku, Haaland, I don't think that's an experienced front line. I think it's a
You don't think
talent
Haaland's experienced? You don't think Haaland's experienced?
Without a shadow of a doubt, no. Absolutely not.
I disagree.
Haaland is experienced.
Yeah, of course, I'm not talking about age, but the amount of games he's played, the level he's been able to go and play at, right?
Okay, when I mean experience, I mean Rodri, I mean Gundogan, I mean Riyad Mahrez. Bernardo Silva is a little bit experienced.
No,
but also it's not about age. I mean leadership. Okay, so here is my point about it. Some players in the world, when the team is down, they pick the team up, right? And it's nothing to do with age. It has something to do with the teams you played at, the number of games. Like, for example, I believe that Declan Rice has this in him. He can actually pick a team up. You know what I mean? I actually believe, for example, some players just throw tantrums. Bruno Fernandes, for example, no matter how many years this guy's have, if the team is down, Bruno Fernandes brings you down even more.
Think about the Carabao Cup final. The difference between Ben Chilwell captain and Van Dijk captain. There's what you're saying.
It's not about the number of games. Yes, I agree, Joe. For example, Bernardo Silva, if the team is struggling, he will kick somebody. He will throw a tantrum. Does that make sense? It's just the way he is. He might have a lot of games under his belt, but Rodri wouldn't. Rodri would pick the team up. Diaz in the defense wouldn't. Diaz would pick the team up. The problem is that front line, without Gundogan and Mahrez, without Kevin De Bruyne behind him, I think it lacks a little bit of composure. When they are stuck, when there is a struggle. Does that make sense? That's what I think is happening sometimes.
Do you think?
I think they panic.
No, I know what you're saying, and
people hate that. People hate that narrative. Man City hate that narrative, but
I hear what you're saying. But then, look, I'm not comparing the two. But Kovacic is someone that I look at that has experience. That he's someone I look at that has experience.
But he's never a leader.
Okay, no,
he's never a leader.
No, but a leader, but you don't need every single player in your team to be a leader. You look, Van Dijk proved it on the Carabao Cup. You need a few to be those leaders, and Kovacic is someone that can just remain calm in those situations. He's played at the highest level for Real Madrid. He's played at the highest level for Chelsea. He's now playing for City. He's someone that you can give to the ball at any moment in the game, and he's not going to go and make a silly decision. He's not going to make a decision that a 19, 20-year-old or a Doku's going to make on the ball. He's going to go and actually, let's just keep the ball for 5 minutes, for a couple of minutes now because we're under pressure. They've got Kovacic. They've got Ake that's won titles with them. Foden's won 4 Premier Leagues with them. They've got Bernardo Silva. They've got Kevin De Bruyne. Haaland, I know what you're saying, but to me, he's someone that looks like someone that he doesn't play with a kind of immaturity in his game. He's not a talent that's just getting a lot of goals, but he's this young. He plays with a lot of maturity in terms of the runs he makes, when to release the ball. Do you know what I mean? Not having to get involved in play, but can just go and give one pass every 5 minutes and still get on the end of a cross and score a goal. That shows a level of maturity for me. He's not someone that's going to do a Gabriel Jesus, sorry to bring up Arsenal, where he just comes really, really deep to get the ball because he hasn't had the ball for 5 minutes and kind of disrupt what the team system's doing. So I don't think they're playing well. I think Guardiola's making some mistakes, but the argument that they haven't got experience, I think, is mad. I think they've got a way more inexperienced team, or you could argue that compared to last season, because Mahrez, Gundogan are not in the team.
You know, Arsenal is the same. You know, the Arsenal for me are the same. There is no player that are Arsenal that when the team is down, other than a little bit Declan Rice, and and he has that.
Jorginho?
Like abundance. Might be, but he doesn't play every game.
Erdegaard?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Without a shadow.
I've seen it with my own eyes.
Tell him, Rory.
Yeah, he did it. He did it last game or a couple of games. I think Odegaard isn't that guy. Odegaard phases out. Well, let's agree to disagree here. But I'm gonna give you an example. Rodri, for example. If it's stuck, if it's crunch time, Rodri is your guy. Look at Rodri. Rodri would pick you up. Rodri will tell everybody where to be. Rodri is that guy. Diaz, that guy. For Liverpool, Van Dijk is that guy. Do you know who I believe has this capacity? McAllister has this capacity. I believe in Man City, there is two players that have this capacity, Diaz and Rodri. Kevin De Bruyne can be, but the problem is he's not available all the time. That's what it is. Anyway, enough of that experience talk.
So do you think that will hinder? Do you think that will hinder Arsenal then for saying that they're the only team at the top three that?
So there is a narrative that is going around, and a lot of people have said that to me. Let me just do this for the sensitive City guys. Akil is saying Man City next 4 fixtures. Man United at home, I think they win that. Liverpool away, I think they draw that. Brighton away, I think they draw that. And then Arsenal, I think they win that. That's what I think. Villa. Thank you, Akil.
Villa.
And then Villa, but Villa at home. German chicken wing. Panic, 13 wins and 1 draw, says otherwise more. I just beg to differ. The way you're playing now, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm not saying you're panicking, but I'm going to just explain it for the last time. But thank you for the super chat, man. Appreciate everybody supporting the channel. Getting us your opinion. If you're sending a super chat, of course, we'll discuss it. If I pick a comment, Mo, you are a Karen. You are a Karen. You saying this means you are rattled, but because you're not hearing what I'm saying, because I said something you're upset with. But listen, here's the problem with Manchester City. He keeps changing the lineups. He keeps changing the position of players. He is trying to find, Pep Guardiola is trying to find the formula of last year, but with this year's players. Does that make sense? Like, he is trying to find the people, the players that will get him to the form of last year, that will go to every game that they are winning, right? That's the thing. It's as simple as he is trying to find the best defense. Kyle Walker makes mistakes. He switches. Who's inverting? Is it Akanji this time? Is it John Stones when he's fit? That's what I mean, that Pep Guardiola is still looking. They are winning games. So Arsenal, so Liverpool. But Man City are still trying to find the right formula to get them to that, listen, we're winning the league. We're winning the Champions League. We knew it. But he hasn't. And if you ask any Man City fan, they will tell you, yes, he is. Why is he pushing Foden aside? Where is Julian Alvarez going to play? Who's going to be in the midfield? Is it Kovacic? Is it Nunes? Last game, he played Nunes left winger. Is that someone who knows what he wants? He's still not. Doku played, and then he got criticized, and then he played the game after. And then Oscar Bob. Jack Grealish is coming back. But people don't want to hear it. Because you know what? Because it's Man City, and people are just sensitive to Man City and Pep Guardiola. I promise you this. When you talk about Man City, you got to tread. What does it say?
Tread lightly.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you say. Otherwise, if they win the league, we told you so. But I'm analyzing what I'm seeing.
One thing I have noticed is that the City players do seem to be getting a little bit more rattled a little bit earlier in games recently than they normally would. Like players like Rodri throwing little tantrums here and there, like when it's 0-0 earlier than they normally would, which suggests maybe they're feeling the pressure a little bit. Rodri, also, someone said Rodri has been managing his yellow cards, hasn't had one in 3 or 4 games. Referees have been managing Rodri's cards. He should get booked pretty much every game, but they know he's near a 2-game ban, so they let him get away with it. And Nobbins will agree with that in the chat as well. He knows it.
Oh my God, we'll see how it is. But listen, okay, Mo, what's the XG against City in the last 3 games? Let me tell you what I saw. I saw Brentford players 1-on-1 twice in the game. That doesn't happen often. I don't know what is so hard about seeing this. Oh my God, people. Guys, you're still the best team in the world. Opta says that. So you are the best team in the world. So sleep well, Man City fans, if you want. Oh my God, on this channel, I have Martin, Nobbins, Hamza, LB, and they think I have agenda against Man City. But fine, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Listen up, Liverpool though, on the other hand, are a team that's in form with a lot of injuries. If the injuries don't come back, do you still think they can keep up?
No, not for me. Nah, they need Salah back for sure, because you're talking about their experience and stuff. You need to have them for the running for sure. As good as it was on Sunday, they can't rely on the kids apart from Conor Bradley. I did like Bobby Clark when he came on. I thought he injected something, but yeah, they can't rely on them lads for the running. I'm sure. I'm sure most will agree. I don't know. Someone said in the chat earlier on 3 are due back. I don't know who them 3 are. But obviously at the minute there's no Trent, there's no Nunes, there's no Salah, there's no Szoboszlai. So, obviously Gravenberch went off injured as well. McAllister was leggy and had to come off, so that might have a bearing on the weekend's game. All this sort of stuff. So I think they need the big hitters back and quick. I would argue in order for them to keep this pace.
Are you worried, Jay, at all?
If we're trying to fight on all fronts, yes. Yeah, I would be. I think the more we've got 30 odd games left. If we were to go and be in every single competition right up until the end, a minimum of I think 15, 16 left. So if we're trying to fight in every competition, and I don't necessarily think it will affect us in the FA Cup now, but the round after that, so the 5th round, I think will be okay. After that, I think it's where it gets tricky, because we've got Europa League. Obviously, we've got Man City sandwiched by 2 legs of the Europa League, so that's going to be tricky. We then have, obviously, depending on how the Europa League goes, you've got more fixtures, and then the Premier League intensifies, and the FA Cup also. Yeah, it does worry me. However, I was worried at the beginning of the season. I didn't think we'd be here, if I'm being honest. At every opportunity up until maybe 2 weeks ago, in my head, I was like, Liverpool going to drop off. Liverpool going to drop off. Liverpool going to drop off. And they just have gotten better and better and better in terms of just the consistency, to the point where, like, it is what it is. With the injuries, if we have to go and drop points, and we drop points, obviously, in the FA Cup, it will be a shame, but there's nothing else we can do with the injuries. I agree. I think if we want to go and really, really cement ourselves in this title race, then we do need Salah back. We do need Nunes back. Jota is out for a long time, so he's gone. Szoboszlai, Nunes, and Salah are the ones that should be fit in the next week, as in ready to start. They may be on the bench tomorrow against Southampton in the FA Cup. Then apart from that, I think McAllister's fine, Endo's fine, and look, Trent's going to be back after the international break. So it's like I said, if the team remains the way it is
he going to be after the City game? He's not available for the City game.
I don't think he's available for the City game.
For fuck's sake, bro.
I don't think he's available for the City game. So the way I see it is, look, if Klopp is able to somehow pull this off and win the title with these injuries, I don't know where to rank it in terms of achievement in the Premier League, but it's 1 or 2 in terms of what he's been able to go and do this season, in the last season. If we're able to fight on all fronts, it will probably be the best season of Klopp's career. And if he was to win the Premier League, I think it'll be the best achievement of Klopp's career as well, because everything seems to be against us at the moment. But we're still able to get results.
Guys, I need to ask you guys in the chat something, please. We have almost 600 people here, right? I need everybody to tell me, where are you tuning in from? YouTube is bugging for me, and it's bugging for everyone. And now the chat, I'm not sure if the chat is coming on YouTube or not, or coming on, like, my StreamYard is bugging. It's not moving for me. I don't know if it's for the guys, it's moving. But I need everyone to tell me in the chat, where are you tuning in from, please? I want to know if YouTube is working for me or not. It's completely bugged for me here, but
I can see the chat, mate. People are chatting.
Because I know that YouTube is the streams disappeared from the subscription feed, and everything is gone now from my studio. Sorry, people. I'm asking you guys for help, the people in the chat.
They're there.
Because I was trying to do, I set up that redirect, and I was checking something, and just everything is gone.
But
It
Japan,
literally says
Salford,
no
Chicago.
streams from your subscriptions at all, like, which is very strange. Thank you everybody that is doing this for me. I appreciate you guys. We'll keep the conversation going. It's just something I needed to check. It's just ridiculous. Something is happening. I wanted to speak about Virgil van Dijk, because lately I've been saying he's the best player in the league at the current moment. It was Mohamed Salah, but Mohamed Salah has been away for a while. Do we think he is the best player in the league at the current moment? You're shaking your head. Of course, you want an Arsenal player. You want Saliba or somebody. I know. I can tell. Who do you think the best player then?
I mean, I guess it depends on how long you go back, right? So Virgil van Dijk on form is one of the best in the Premier League, and of the group that you could put with him, he's definitely got the more, the career, the history, and all the rest that go with it. So if you include all of that, then yeah, I'd probably agree. Right now, on form, is he the best in the league? I don't know.
Not on form. Over the span of the season, who is the best player in the league? Forget form or anything.
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Gabriel.
So.
Moment of silence for footballing opinions. I'm joking.
Best defense, which he's been a massive part of, and a huge attacking threat, which has propelled Arsenal's title race into March. I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah, I actually think I think in Arsenal's defense, I actually think Saliba has been better than Gabriel. But it's a conversation though. I get what you're saying, but I think Saliba has been the best one. Someone says Rodri. Someone says Foden. Is Foden even in the conversation? Can I ask Rory, is Foden even better than Saka this season?
No, not by any metric, other than people that talk about eye test. But no, he's not.
But what do you think, Jerry? Why you're smiling? The smirk.
No, I think it's interesting. I think you're smart with that comment. I think you're very cheeky with that question. To trying to go there, Nussel.
I know the answer before I answered it. But anyway, what do you think, Jerry?
Best player in the league, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with Virgil van Dijk.
I'm going with Virgil as well. Joe.
I'm just trying to think. I remember months and months ago putting out a tweet. Someone was asking who the best players in the league were, and this was earlier on. And I had Salah in there, and I had Van Dijk in there, and I put a cheeky one for Bowen at the time. That was right at the start of the season. But if I think about who of them is still around now, it's VVD, isn't it? It's VVD. I know Bowen scored a hat-trick last night, but prior to that, he's been pretty woeful of late. But
hold on. Bowen isn't even here.
No. Earlier on in the season, I'm talking about. I know he's not, but I'm just saying. I'm not putting him in the conversation. Don't worry, Mo. But he was amazing at the start of the season. Saka's been good. Rodri has been good. But yeah, I think.
Why isn't it Declan Rice? 2 points behind the leaders. Most consistent players in the league.
I love Declan.
I'm just going to say it. Declan Rice has been the most consistent player in the league. Isn't he?
Yep.
Who else has been more consistent than Declan Rice?
Deliveries as well, man. Them deliveries from set pieces are pretty special.
Yeah, that too.
Scoring goals as well.
Declan Rice deserves a shout here.
Yeah, fair.
If Arsenal go on and win the league, I think Declan Rice should be in conversation for Player of the Year.
And when people talk about, and I agree that Rodri comes up with clutch goals, so has Declan Rice. Scored that massive long-range goal to get us back into the game against Chelsea. Scored the last-minute winner against Luton, last-minute winner against Man United. The goals that he pops up with are really important goals. So.
I agree. I think Salah, for me, being absent, it doesn't take away from you, but I can put you in the conversation. Like Salah has been absent since January. We're almost in March.
That's why I didn't say Salah. Yeah.
Because if I have an argument for Salah, I'm going to have an argument for Kevin De Bruyne, who played like 6 games or 4 games. It's not based on ability, though. That's why it's Virgil van Dijk. I think the 3 players is Virgil van Dijk, Declan Rice. That's it. There's no one else.
But there has to be someone. But what says no one in the City team? City are what 1 point off top, but there's no.
Haaland's still the top scorer, by the way. Let's not forget this as well. I know he's not been amazing, but he's still.
Yeah, so he's still the top scorer. But I'm saying surely there has to be a candidate. I'm not saying they're the best, but who's the candidate for City? Rodri.
Rodri, yeah, but because especially if you look at the results when he's played, like basically, like over half the points they dropped were when he was. I mean, he was suspended, which was his own fault, but yeah, I'd say the top three is Van Dijk.
Is Van Dijk the best defender to ever play in the Premier League?
Nah.
Let's have
Why
a
not?
conversation in a few years. I think it's too mad because we all look back glowingly at those that came before, whereas sometimes you can't appreciate what you've got until it's gone.
He's older now.
No, I know, but he's still
People
active.
in the chat can let me know, is he the best defender? And don't tell me, but Rio Ferdinand won more trophies, or Vidic won more trophies.
But Rio was an exceptional centre-back, though.
He was good. But
I think
I get what you're saying, but my point is, let's just take the trophies. The reason why I take the trophies out, because Michael Carrick won a lot of trophies. Does that mean he's better than Gerrard, for example? He's a good player, Michael Carrick. Gary Neville won a lot of trophies. Does that mean he's better than Trent Alexander-Arnold, for example? Or better than Kyle Walker? No. Who is, like, people in the chat, let me know who is the best defender.
Is that a wild take? As a right back, Gary Neville's better than Trent. Is that a wild
probably
take?
It's not very wild, but I never liked Gary Neville. I actually don't think Gary Neville is all of that. He's just a part of a good team. I never looked at Gary Neville and said, you are the level of Cafu, for example, or Zambrotta, you know what I mean? Like, you're never that guy. Or Dani Alves. You aren't even in the conversation with these people. You are like 2-3 levels below them. You're just in a good team under a brilliant manager, and I don't think he was fantastic, to be honest. Nilo Palace and Rio also said, give Oli the long contract. Oli at the wheel. Yeah, he did say that. So we're not taking Rio Ferdinand really seriously at the point. Nilo Palace saying, is it Virgil because of the way he's playing this season? Yes. Unbelievable captain's performance recently as well. Goal against Luton when team needs a goal. 2 goals on Sunday. 2 goals on Sunday. You won 1-0.
No, he's saying against Forest.
Against Forest, yeah, he's fantastic. Virgil van Dijk is absolutely immense.
For me,
let me just do the next one.
Oh yeah, go on.
He is by far best modern centre back in the Premier League ever. Tony, can you define modern? Which era? Is it 92 or is it 2003 or 2000 or 98? Because
I think by modern they mean basically still playing, right? Because otherwise, what's the like? I guess it's in terms of styles. It has to be in terms of styles where modern centre backs are, they don't have full backs alongside them defending with them. So really, like, who would Van Dijk even be competing with if that was the conversation? Because I don't think you can then include Terry, Ferdinand, Vidic.
No, Chelsea fullbacks used to go high, like.
Yeah, but think about it. Even when John Terry played, he had the likes of Makelele right in front of him, Matic. Like, they had played 2 really, really good defensive midfielders that would also screen a lot. Like Czech, do you know what I mean? Had the most clean sheets ever in the Prem, if I'm correct. So they were much more defensively set up. If you look at the way football's played now by the top teams, it's so expansive. You're caught defending 1v1 on your halfway line very, very often, and that didn't happen as much. Do you know what I mean? Before,
so you are making a case for Virgil van Dijk to be the best ever?
I'm making that case. You didn't ask me. I didn't even get to answer. That's what I was going to say.
Go ahead. Answer them.
From what I've seen, I cannot remember, and it might be my age, which is fair, but I cannot remember a centre-back to come into a team and transform a defence to what it has been under Klopp. Because before that, we had Lovren, we had Sacco, we had all these other centre-backs, and none of them had that impact. And then not only to do that, is to win what we've been able to go and win, and to get the points tallies, and to get the numbers of clean sheets, and to score the amount of goals they've been able to go and score for Liverpool as well from a defensive standpoint. No centre-back scored more goals than Virgil van Dijk. Do you know what I mean? Since he's played for Liverpool, he's that important. He plays. Do you know what I mean? Bar the injury, he plays every single game. He does not miss a game in the Premier League. That's unheard of.
He's only lost one at home as well, right?
Yes, only 1 game at home. Ever?
Who was that against?
Ever.
That was
crazy.
That there was. It was. It was, isn't it? And Henderson.
It was
Henderson. It was. I was thinking about. I was gonna say Burnley, but it was Leeds. And Henderson
it was
had a mare in
Leeds.
that game.
No,
It was
but
Leeds. It was Leeds.
Yeah. He's phenomenal. There was that stat where he didn't get dribbled past and all that sort of stuff. He is phenomenal. And I thought even at the weekend, like both him and Konate, just Marshall Jackson, man.
Let me put a statement
Great.
in. Play anybody next to Virgil van Dijk, your defense will be all right.
Yeah.
Anyone.
We've seen
anyone.
that. Bro, we've seen that with Nat Phillips.
It might not be as phenomenal as it is with whatever you play, but play anyone next to Virgil van Dijk, I think the defense will be any
100%.
I think
you know Nat Phillips, right? Nat Phillips, we all thought was okay. He's dog dirt. He's actually dog dirt. Leeds looked at him. I think he's at Celtic. I don't know if he's gone back to Liverpool or whatever. He's actually really pish. But when we were seeing him next to Van Dijk, they was going, okay, maybe this guy's got a future. I don't know where he'll end up. He's not a Premier League centre-back for me. So he's already done that. He's been and done that as Van Dijk and been on his own when he's had next to nobody.
He's the only one as well. When you go and look at even in City's a bit different, but when you go and look, for example, the teams in the title race, I think Rory, you talk about Arsenal and say that the partnership that they've got in terms of Saliba and Gabriel playing together consistently has helped them be the best defensive partnership. Van Dijk's got Kwanzaa to him 1 minute, then it's Matip, then it's Gomez, then it's Konate, then it goes back to Kwanzaa, then it might be Nat Phillips, then it might be someone else. It's constantly rotating, yet we're still able to go and, perform, and he's still able to go and perform to a high level whilst having Robertson really high up, Trent that doesn't track back, and no DM. That's when you break it down, that's insane. It's insane. Imagine him playing in that Chelsea team under Mourinho. I hear it. But I still think, for me, Terry's number one. I think on the ball, Terry's criminally underrated for his ability on the ball.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
The defensive record that he had, obviously that 15 goals in a season, that would never be beaten. I think he was an elite captain. I think Van Dijk is a very close second. And I think if you're talking modern, because people say, well, Terry could never do what Van Dijk's done in Liverpool's high line. It's like, yeah, but he was never meant to do that. And the system was never, like, football has just changed. So comparing them's kind of irrelevant. I do think if people want to have the conversation, which I've seen, of Van Dijk versus Company, which is the closest you can get in terms of elite modern.
I don't think it's a conversation.
No, I think he clears Company by a long way.
Yeah. I mean, he says it, but he says it himself. I think he says it himself. Company's admitted it himself. He said Van Dijk is the best the centre-back to play ever in the Premier League. So if that's his competition, I mean, that's the conversation done.
I don't think it's a conversation. Well, I hear it about John Terry. I don't hear it about Rio Ferdinand. I just hear it about John Terry only, to be honest. But I have never, let me just do this. Both Arsenal centre-backs have been the best this season, in my opinion. I think Virgil van Dijk has been better than both of them. Individually, though. But they have been the best partnership. But individually, I think Van Dijk. Like, if I'm choosing a defense tomorrow in the Premier League, I'm choosing Saliba and Van Dijk together in defense. Or I can make an argument for Van Dijk and Gabriel, honestly. I can do both. But I cannot exclude Van Dijk.
How about Konate? Because Konate, I feel like, is being underrated. You think?
Nah. He was great. He was great at the weekend.
I think he get.
Can I clarify this?
Bozo's strong.
Okay, it's a strong word. It's a strong word.
Hear me out here. The biggest bozo, if anyone's got the bozo gene, it's Gabriel over Konate for me.
Yes.
Hear me out. Not true. This season, Gabriel has been very.
No,
very
he has,
composed.
but he's still got that gene, like Romero. They've got the gene.
Yeah, but he has been very composed. So let me tell you about Romero. About Konate. Konate is excellent in terms of like physicality, speed, reactionary. The guy's recovery is good. He can absolutely be a very reactive defender. Very, very good. I don't like these defenders. Not a biggest fan of them. The fact that he got a red card against Arsenal takes his rating down. It was very rash from him, right? Yeah,
no, but that's for that one game, isn't it? That's for that one game.
He has had mistakes in him in the beginning. He has had mistakes in him in the beginning of the season. People just forget. So did Van Dijk. I think if I'm rating defenders, okay, this is gonna be wild, right? If I'm rating defenders this season, I think it's Van Dijk, Saliba, Gabriel, Van de Ven. That's it for me. Because the reason why I'm not putting Van de Ven ahead of Gabriel is that because Van de Ven has been injured for a while, for about 2.5 months. But in my opinion, bar the injury, I think Van de Ven is better than Gabriel as just a defender. He's just better. That's for me. The reason why the speed adds a lot to it. The speed.
But he's just quick. I don't think he anticipates.
He's quick. His tackling is good. And I think his reading of the game is as good as Gabriel. Gabriel is also a reactive defender.
I think Konate's been underrated again. Bear in mind, for the majority of the season until the injury, he's been playing with a fullback that's inverting, which means he's not only having to cover right back, he's also having to go and step up onto the strike if he pins him and get across. There's no other centre back that's doing as much work as him. I can even say for Virgil van Dijk does not do the amount of work that Konate has to do off the ball. That's just.
I think that's when you're deceived, which is Arsenal fans say the same. Gabriel has been better. Well, Saliba makes it look like it's not happening. When the ball is played to a forward, Saliba's already in that play, so you aren't seeing Saliba doing magnificent work.
No, but
Van Dijk is the same. Van Dijk is the same.
I agree, but the difference is that, of course, with Van Dijk, Konate is having to go and cover at right back and also step up onto, say, if it's Martinelli, how often is it like Martinelli versus Gabriel? Anytime you go and face Arsenal, 1v1 out wide, and Konate a lot of the time comes out on top. Not saying Martinelli doesn't, but 9 times out of 10, Konate does come out on top. Martinelli gets joy when Konate actually covers the centre and it's Trent against him, and that's what it has been. Konate, I think, is being very, 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 very underrated because Konate's been better than Van de Ven for me. He's been better than Van de Ven. Regardless, you're saying about mistakes. Every centre back that I can think of that we've named has had mistakes. We've got Virgil van Dijk.
I'm not picking Konate over Van de Ven. I'm just not. That's just me.
I would say Gabriel does it. Gabriel has the same thing that Konate has in terms of Zinchenko inverts and is not a good defender. Yeah. So Gabriel, I do think, has to do a lot of that work as well. And Arsenal do have far better defensive stats. I think Konate's reading of the game just isn't quite as good, but his just raw athleticism means that a lot of the time he gets away with it. Like, you'll see him recover a lot where another defender like a Saliba or a Van Dijk wouldn't need to recover because they'd have read the situation better. Yeah. So he's up there. He's 100% up there, but I don't think he's quite at the level of Van Dijk, Saliba, Gabriel, who I think is the top 3.
Nilut Pal is saying it was 2 goals on Sunday. 1 goal was wrongly disallowed.
Yes.
Wrongly. No, it wasn't wrongly disallowed. It wasn't wrongly disallowed. It was offside. Don't forget, if it wasn't for Messi, he would have won Ballon d'Or. Yeah, if it wasn't for Messi, Haaland would have won Ballon d'Or. If it wasn't for Messi, a lot of people would have won Ballon d'Ors. Ronaldo would have won more, but it doesn't change the fact that he didn't win the Ballon d'Or. It's as simple as that. Listen, people, this has been absolutely an immense and amazing show. There is still over 500 people here, and we aren't even on 300 likes. I don't know why you aren't liking the video. If you aren't entertained, I don't know. Listen, I did not put the subscribers mode in. I just put it now. So if you aren't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Always content every day. All the guys, all the boys' channels are in the description. Jerry James, Rory Talks Football, who's putting content every day now. I'm so proud of you, bro. I'm so proud of you. And Joe, the legend, of course. Every day, every hour, there's content on Just a Joe Football Show. Every hour, there's content. I appreciate everybody that is watching us. You like us, you don't like us, it doesn't matter. We're trying to be fair and objective. Sometimes there is agendas. Of course, you guys know that for a fact. But we're here to talk about the football. People, I want to thank everybody of you. Appreciate you boys, Rory, Joe, and Jerry. And for people in the chat, you guys are making the channel what it is. And I really appreciate everyone that is subscribing, liking a video, sharing it, putting in one comment. I appreciate everyone. This will take you to Hussam's stream where he has LB and Dan Potts. It's a title race talk. So you guys are going to enjoy that. And we are out of here, people. Thank you.